What is up, guys? Thanks for spending some time here with me today. Happy to have you here on the road to NBA 2K21 series in the middle of Season 4's heated playoff run. And after a show-stopping Nuggets series where the last 3 games of the series were decided by 10 points or less, this Clippers series has seen 2 blowouts. Us Pelicans were on the receiving end of a 21-point loss in Game 1, then we dealt some damage back to LA in a 17-point victory as the series heads back home to New Orleans. And as you guys know, in the playoffs, there's been some animosity at the shooting guard and small forward spots for our squad. When it comes to Josh Hart, Aaron Catley, or Luzada Silva, you never quite know what performance you'll get out of any of them on any given night. And now Otto Porter's had a rough Clippers series, so Josh Hart will actually enter Game 3 as the returning starter at the small forward spot. He's been great off the bench since having his role reduced. His percentages are higher and he's making smarter plays, but we're going to need his defense to be at peak performance because Paul George, he has broken 30 points in each of the opening 2 games of this series. So let's waste no time, let's jump into Game 3 as this series is tied 1-1. As we have the advantage now, these next 2 games we played at home in New Orleans, which needs no introduction. You guys know how good we've been at home, and immediately Josh Hart kicks us off. No hesitation, he looked confident in that shot. He's ready to be a starter, I can tell. Today it's just going to be about trying to make somebody else beat us, and there's Kawhi getting open. Nice screen off the ball from Serge Ibaka. And Kawhi Leonard around 20 points per game, 19.5 actually in this series. So he's been sneaky good. Just as good as Paul George with not as many shots, but there's AD taking it right back on the Defensive Player of the Year award winner. Some bad blood, I bet, between him and AD as the Brow was finishing second this year in that awards race. Now Josh Hart collects a miss, clears it, runs the break, handoff to me, and AD going down the baseline. Whoa, it's sitting on the rim, but it drops. So a bit of an unconventional lob. I've never seen one do that before. I've thrown many lobs to AD, but we get a stroke of luck there for my second assist. So tied up at 7 as Kawhi pulls again. That one's well short. Falls right into my lap. There's my first rebound of the contest as Kawhi's actually getting 1 of 4, and then I'll take this one tough to the cup to give us the second lead of the night for the Pelicans. So now we're about halfway through the first quarter. Reggie Jackson cannot hit. Luzada Silva standing tall in the paint that time. Now Paul George switches on to me. I give him a little stop and go move, a double clutch there. Unsuccessful, and I'm actually starting out the game a little bit slow. Kawhi's 1 of 4, and now I'm 1 of 4 as well as I try to stay in Kawhi's path, and there is a beautiful take from the claw. Leonard, obviously a lot more of a physical player than I am, a lot more physical gifts. Not much I can do about that one. On the next possession, though, I find myself some open space. Beginning the game 2 of 5 so far, my stats for the playoffs, at the bottom of your screen, 22 points, 4 rebounds, and of course 12 assists a game. 15-13 as Lou Will checks in, a little handoff to Serge Ibaka, a little bit of space, and that one's just a tad long, he back rimmed it. So now we're running the break again, don't necessarily have numbers, so we'll take the secondary break. Jahlil Okafor sets me a screen, a little handoff through the air as Jahlil Okafor has also been sneaky good for the Pelicans. He's actually 5th on the team in points per game here in the Clippers series at about 8.5 a night. And there's another one for Okafor, at least I thought it would have been. He botches that open opportunity under the rim. I miss out on assist number 4, and Lewis Williams with a beautiful jumper off the dribble to give the Clippers their biggest lead of the night. You know the Clippers, they're hungry right now. They got a bit of a stigma for underachieving in the playoffs, and so they're ready to finally make a conference finals appearance. And that would continue as I check out. 26-18 coming back in, and Paul George will let it rip a little long there. So Otto Porter with a rebound as the 5 on the floor is Catley, me, AD, Richaun Holmes, and also Otto Porter. 29-21 Clippers as I feed Porter in the low post. That one's blocked. He regains possession, and that one's sent back as well. Porter a 3rd time, and he's coming off a game where he shot 2 of 9 in game 2. That's one of the reasons why we're seeing Josh Hart get the start. Paul George tries to fire again. That one is way long, and what happens here? Another blunder on an outlet pass. We saw this back in game 2 and game 1 actually, and now for the 3rd game in a row, either Richaun Holmes or Anthony Davis messes up an outlet pass, And Holmes caught his own pass. He can't do that. That's obviously a travel. So a dumb turnover there as Paul George not beginning the game so hot. It's been a team effort so far getting this lead for the Clippers. And there's a tough floater over Patrick Beverley right in my pocket. But there are my 5th and 6th points of the affair. 31-24 Clippers as Paul George attacks. And how about Anthony Davis climbing the ladder and putting that one into the 5th row? He's got just as strong of a case to win DPOY over Kawhi Leonard this season, and now on the next trip up the floor, I feed him in the post, a fadeaway over Marcus Morris, no good. Ball goes right into my hands, but that one's swatted away. Lewis Williams got a piece of it, and now the Clippers can try to extend their lead. Reggie Jackson. That was no good though. Our defense has been pretty strong so far. We're being helped out by the Clippers forcing the issue a little bit. Too many jump shots from LA, and there's Josh Hart soaring up and dunking one down. Finally, a high percentage look for us. We're under 30% so far this game. This could easily be the deciding game of the series. I mean, 2-1 in a best of 5, that's tough to come back from, especially with Game 5 being away from home. There's a nice backdoor cut though. Anthony Davis this series, and as the playoffs have gone on as a whole, has done a better and better job finding his teammates outside of the post, keeping his head up, especially when there's defensive pressure. 42-31, we're nearing the end of the first half. Jahlil Okafor off his screen, he'll attack, and now Ibaka blocks Jahlil. Man, what has gotten into Ibaka? And he's taunting the crowd a little bit. This is playoff energy right here. And as we head to the half, things didn't get much better. The lead swells to 16 as the defense fell apart there at the end of the half. There's been a few big issues so far today, but what's most concerning is definitely our offensive attack. When Jahlil Okafor is your top scorer with 11 at the half, that's when you know you need to change what you're doing. The Pels were in the 30% in shooting efficiency, and we've seen too much one-on-one, I feel, today. The Brow has 10, but on 10 shots, I've got 8 points and 3 rebounds. I ended up shooting 50%, so I overcame my slow start. But it's been a struggle to tally assists. I only have 4, and I got lucky on a few of those that counted, like the lob to Anthony Davis that almost rimmed out, for example. Hart actually has 8 and 5. He's 2 for 6 shooting, but he's holding his own, especially on defense. But listen to this. Aaron Catley, Otto Porter, Richaun Holmes, and Marcos Susada Silva were all without a field goal, 0 for 14 combined in the first half. Otto Porter attempted 6 shots, MLS 4. It's been a really troubling day for the secondary players on New Orleans, except for the exception of Jahlil Okafor. So let's kick off the second half. Still plenty of time to play, but we've just been coming out flat. Defensively, we've been pretty serviceable so far as Kawhi finds himself some space. Very good mid-range shooter, of course, but can't get that one to go that time. Quick up the other end, Josh Hart, he will begin the half just like he began the first half of action, with a 3-pointer for the New Orleans Pelicans. A baker's dozen is the lead now, with still plenty of time to play. Plenty of basketball left to try to get back into this one. We force a stop. I receive a screen, a little dump down to AD, and that one goes in with a stroke of luck. He got Paul George up in the air with the pump fake, drew the contact, threw it up there, hoped for the best, and it dropped. But another thing that's really been a struggle for the Pelicans is our free throw shooting. We came into the half around 50% from the free throw line, leaving a lot of points at the charity stripe. With the shot clock turned off, and now Pat Bev will outdo Anthony Davis because he got the end one there on Richaun Holmes, beat me off the dribble, and he also knocks down the free throw as well. So things turning even worse here for New Orleans, down by 18 now. 9:05 left to play in the third, coming off a screen. Holmes rotates to the rim, and he'll flush that one down for his first basket of the ball game. Got to get these secondary players involved. That'll be big because Los Angeles, with Paul George and Kawhi not exactly on the top of their games today as George misses another jumper, they've had their secondary pieces play extraordinarily well. And that's the reason why they're up by 18. Nice give and go there between me and Aaron Catley. There's his first basket as well. A 15-point deficit as I record 8 assists to go along with my 8 rebounds. So a quick 5 assists already here in the third quarter. Now Pat Bev right up, not letting me get comfortable. A screen for Catley. Off the dribble, he'll net another one as that one swirls around and it'll trickle through the bottom of the net. So the offense now starting to come back a little bit. 15 points about halfway through this third quarter, and Paul George is unsuccessful again. We got to start chipping away at this lead with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard having their fair share of struggles today. So now up screen for me, I find myself wide open, and I'm not much of a three-point shooter, but I think this was the perfect time to cash in from beyond the arc. Only my third made three ball of the playoffs. Definitely that percentage, around 20%, not one of my most accomplished stats, that's for sure, but Pat Beverly with a very bad shot selection there. We've been lucked out by the Clippers settling for threes a lot this game, and now we settle things down. AD, he'll roll off, a whip a pass in there, and that one's nearly an and one, but that one will just rim out. Even though we haven't made up that much ground on the scoreboard here in the third, you're starting to see the improvement just in this half alone. AD steps up. He'll of course miss this free throw. We just can't catch a break from the charity stripe tonight. But as I check back in, okay, there it is, tied up at 76 all of a sudden. And how about this third quarter surge? Jahlil Okafor at the line, and guess what? He's not going to make this free throw either. But right now, the Pelicans, man, what a response. 36-20, they've outscored the Clippers as Luke Kennard cannot take the lead. And then it looks like Nicolo Melli's fouled on this rebound attempt, but they actually say Jahlil Okafor was the man who was on the receiving end of that foul by Marcus Morris. So he'll step up to the line. He made the first one, but I don't think we've seen a trip without any drama to the line for the Pelicans tonight. But 37-20, we outscored the Clippers in that period of play. There was a lot of sad demeanors and frowns on that Pelicans sideline, but as you can see there, walk into the huddle, everyone embracing us. The whole demeanor has changed here for our side as we head into the fourth. We got all the momentum, as there is Reggie Jackson, who tries to kick off the fourth, giving the Clippers the lead right back, but another three is unsuccessful. Luzada Silva takes it the other way, as he will split the double and fly up and jam one down. Marcos Luzada Silva, another guy who was quiet in the first half. He's made some buckets here and there in the second in a response effort. Paul George, how many shots has he missed tonight? 79-76, as Josh Hart tries to extend the lead here with a take, a dish off, and there is Otto Porter drawing some free throws. I love that aggressiveness by Josh Hart. Sometimes he puts his head down, doesn't look for his teammates when he takes to the cup, but that time he did a perfect job finding Otto Porter underneath the rim as Kawhi Leonard checks back in, and Otto Porter only makes one of two, of course. Paul George is now fouled hard by Luzada Silva, and you can see the Clippers, full of veterans, they're trying to get into the head a little bit of Luzada Silva, the young gun. Paul George doing a little bit of jogging and points right in his face to taunt him a little bit. And then some extra salt on the wound by Reggie Jackson as he starts jawing with Luzada Silva once again. We can't get caught up in all that nonsense. We got a series to win. Paul George knocks down 2 of 2, and the Clippers get a stop. So not only down by 3, Kawhi Leonard running a little two-man game with him and Serge Ibaka as he frees up Kawhi for the dunk. And now the Clippers come storming back, tying it up at 81 apiece. Kawhi with a pass. What a look that was from the 3-time DPOI winner, and Reggie Jackson will give the lead to LA. In need of a tying basket, I haven't shot the ball much today, but we go with one of our money plays that normally frees me up, and I cash in there from 15 feet off the dribble. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists for me tonight. Knotted up at 85 now, and we got a chance to take the lead, and of course, what else would we do but go to Anthony Davis in this time of need? And he's spinning, he puts down yet another 360 lob. I've lost count of how many times he's done that in this series, but Paul George with some open space with the response. 88-87 Clippers, another lead change. And as you can see down the stretch here, head coach Anthony Thornton going with the OG lineup. We got Aaron Catley and Josh Hart out here with me, and Richaun Holmes and Anthony Davis. Great job on the screenplay there by Holmes. Anthony Davis with nobody even on that side of the court as he takes to the cup. 11 assists for me tonight. And now Richaun Holmes, backdoor. Anthony Davis returns the favor by almost knocking down Paul George with that brick wall of a screen. And Holmes taps it in. Doesn't want to risk missing a dunk or anything like that. We need every point we can get at this stage in the ball game. We got 3 minutes left to play. Lewis Williams checks back in there and needs some offense. So they'll take out Pat Bev in exchange for Lewis Williams, and then Reggie Jackson of all players will take the lead for the Clippers. 12 points for the Boston College product. We got 2.5 left to play. Anybody's ball game down the stretch. Paul George again. Now he's starting to heat up here. We were waiting all game for him to make a couple shots in a row, but he's starting to hit his stride right when the Clippers need him most. Down by 4. We're going to need a quick basket. Holmes with a high screen, and that one is a touch pass to Richon. Under 2 minutes to play. We get a stop. Now with 5 seconds left to shoot though. Clippers very stingy on this possession. I'm fading away. That one's not even close. And even more so in this stage of the game, that was just a terrible offensive possession in terms of execution. And now Richon Holmes is trying to stay in front of Kawhi Leonard, and that one is set back right into the hands of Anthony Davis. Catley, he'll drive right and he'll draw free throws. There's a whistle. And Catley will have the chance to go to the charity stripe to tie it up, but it would have been no opportunity for Catley if Holmes didn't climb the ladder and send back Kawhi Leonard. And such an underrated part of shot blocking has to be the ability to keep the ball in bounds. As Catley, oh no, the struggles continue, now falling to 17 of 29 as a team from the charity stripe. We've taken a lot but not have made a lot, but Catley at least knocks down 1 of 2. And like I was saying before, you look at clips of Bill Russell, and Russell was a great big guy in terms of blocking the ball and keeping it in bounds. It's great to send a shot into the 5th row, but why does it matter if the offense will keep the ball? And how about this bounce pass? No good from Anthony Davis, not once but twice, but at least we regain possession. And head coach is still sticking with Catley and Josh Hart. The OG5 still out on the floor as Josh Hart fires one up for the lead. And it rims out, unfortunately. 36 seconds left to play as Paul George runs it back up the other way. And this was just a really bad play on my part. Lewis Williams with the biggest shot of the ball game on my head. You guys know me, I'm always in tune, especially on defense, but I got caught watching on that play, but we at least get the quick 2 we need there from Anthony Davis. I drove coast to coast, brought the defense in, and AD made them pay from 10 feet, but wow. How could I let my guard down in that possession? That might have just sealed the game, but head coach Anthony Thornton out of the timeout. He instructs us to go for the steal first and then foul. 20 ticks left, still no steal. I'm pressuring Lewis Williams. He's not giving it up. And finally, Catley, he will make the decision to foul with 14 seconds left. Things looking a little grim here as Lewis Williams is in the mid 80% from the charity stripe. And no problems there for Sweet Lou Will. 196, 14 seconds left. As I flash the ball, not open, I come back to it for a second time, I catch it, and here comes a trap. Oh no, I'm getting pressured, and it's out of bounds, but we luck out. Kawhi Leonard went for the steal while he had a foot on the out of bounds line. Man, my heart sunk when that happened, but we'll inbound it and do it again. 11 seconds left. Now this time, Catley goes to the strong side corner, catch and fire. Huge shot for Aaron Catley. New Orleans still has a chance, trailing by 1, and Paul George is the inbounder. He's struggling. He's looking around, surveying the floor, and he just gets it into Reggie Jackson, and I gotta hustle my way up to Lou Will to foul him. So 5.6 left on the clock. 101 to 99. Lou Will, what are the odds that he misses one? Not very likely, I don't think. Bang. But being a smart player means you gotta plan for anything. If he makes this, we call timeout, set up a play, and if he misses, we get it and we run, and it's a miss. 5 seconds left. Last chance today. Catley up the left flank. Jumper. Overtime is coming your way. Aaron Catley has tied it up. 101 to 101. Down the stretch, head coach Anthony Thornton has kept Josh Hart and Aaron Catley, despite their ups and downs, on the floor to close this game out and complete the comeback. And it's paid off in dividends. A perfectly run fast break there, and I've played a lot of basketball with Aaron Catley over the years. 1 year at Texas, 2 years now here in the pros, and I don't know if I've ever seen him look that confident on a jump shot. Nothing but net for the second-year pro. Let's head to overtime. Richon Holmes versus Serge Ibaka. Who will get the first possession of the extra period of play? And it will be Los Angeles. And Coach Thornton keeping me, Catley, and Hart as the backcourt as Reggie Jackson and Paul George run a pick and pop. What a pass from Reggie, and PG-13 kicks off the extra period with a 3-point bomb. What a play drawn up there by the Clippers. Now let's see what the Pelicans will respond with. We took a lot of time off the clock and we still couldn't muster much of anything. Meanwhile, the Clippers continue to work fast and Kawhi hit a mid-range jump shot. So we're in danger of having our 18-point comeback go to waste, but what a backdoor pass that was. Slipping that one in the tightest of windows, and Kately is soaring up for a 360 slam. 106-103, Lou Will tries to extend the lead, but he cannot. So still down by a possession. Josh Hart drives to the whole team, a little handoff. That one is pure. Fighting through some contact from Lou Williams. And we're under 2.5 to play. We're down by 1, but we're still in it after the Clippers' hot start to the overtime period. But Lou Williams with the scoop layup. A great game tonight, over 20 points now. 2 minutes to play. And the Clippers take the lead back by 3, and I almost made the same mistake here as I did in regulation. Lou Will. Oh. I catch a break this time, but I left him a little bit too much space yet again, and then I have a lane, a step-through move to cut it to 1. 108-107, 90 seconds left to play once again. Lou Will is open off the screen, but instead Kawhi wants to take it himself, and wow. With the crowd chanting defense, defense, Kawhi Leonard gets it done again around the basket. 110-107 now. And this play is actually a designed post-up for Anthony Davis, but he wants no part of that. Runs out to the three-point line, and he drills it. The unibrow has tied this game up. Shades of Joel Embiid just a couple nights ago against the Jazz. Wow. What a shot. AD took the post up, ran behind the three-point line, no hesitation, did a little twirl while he was at it, and knocked it down, and then gets the stop on Kawhi. Him and Josh Hart, they stand there. 110 apiece. Now we only got seconds left to play with 43 ticks left. Kately gives me the screen, and we run the same play for AD, this time on the right side of the floor. I will use an escape dribble to drain some more clock. AD will drive. And with 34 seconds left, he draws a whistle on Kawhi Leonard. So, the same place that the Pelicans have been struggling all night long, and that might hold the fate for this game. And Anthony Davis, calm, cool, and collected, knocks down the first. And maybe if we made a couple more free throws in regulation, we wouldn't be in this situation, but that's neither here nor there at this point in the ball game. And Anthony Davis, no problems there, 112-110. 10-second difference between shot clock and game clock as Kawhi Leonard controls the tempo. Coming back the other way, he's at the controls as he receives a screen, off balance for the tie. No good. Kawhi misses, and I draw the foul on Lou Will. And we all know the Pelicans have had their share of struggles at this spot right here on the floor. But this is the first time I'm towing the free throw line in this ball game. So let's see if I can right our wrongs and put us over the top. The first one, no problem. The second one, the one that really matters to push it to 2 possessions, is off. No! How did I miss? 16 seconds left. Kawhi with a head full of steam. They got the numbers. Reggie Jackson open in the corner for the tie. He back rimmed it. The Pelicans will survive this Game 3 fiasco. Oh man, what a comeback for New Orleans. Oh, this time I only need 1, and as you can imagine, I'm not happy with myself about that miss. I had to green light it to push us over the top. The Pelicans are 1 win away from making the Western Conference Finals for the 2nd year in a row. 117-113 is your final tonight. 20 points, 16 assists, but this win was not by one person. These last 2 games have been great team efforts as you see the scoring distribution, everybody getting involved. Kately with 12 in the second half, he was huge. Hart really D'd up well. Porter had a decent game, but once again shot poorly. Holmes with 14 rebounds. And I think next game, we got to set that rotation back to normal. I think Coach Thornton's going to go with me, Hart, and Kately just like the good old days. And Lou Will, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard all had valiant efforts. But back home here for game 4. We win, and we're heading back to the conference finals. If not, we're going to live stream game 5 and see if we can do it with you guys watching me live. Rocking the throwbacks tonight, and unfortunately this game didn't really get out to the best start, already in an 8-2 hole. As Rashawn Holmes and I run a little 2-man game. Now addition side to AD, who started off the game 1 for 4. And he's a guy that we need to be on, especially in a game like this. 10-2 now the Clippers. Rashawn Holmes flashes again, surveys, finds Josh Hart, and we're running this pop play. 2 screens for me as I curl off of it. I have a bit of a lane, absorb a lot of contact, and I get a little lucky. But sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, especially when we're in desperate need of a basket, like the beginning of this one, and now a turnover, continuing to be a problem here in this series. Lou Williams to the corner. Kawhi Leonard has been red hot to begin this ball game. Already 8 points for the San Diego State product. 16-6. This is a nightmare right now. Looks like we're inevitably going to be going to a live stream for game 5, but Kate Lee, a little spin, double clutch. And he floats that one with his offhand up and in. So my first assist goes to Kately, showing off the finishing. 16-8 is now Kately's pulling down the rebound. He turns on the Jets, and he finds AD for the lob. Kately with some playmaking. 21-12, we're starting to chip away a little bit, but we're in danger of not even breaking 20 points in the first quarter. Meanwhile, George and Kawhi, they're respawning from their Game 3 performances. They had a lot of points, but they took a lot of shots between the two to get those points. So now down by as many points as we score, 12, and Luzada Silva checks in. Pops off of that screen, and he makes good on the open look. Now only down by 7. Luzada Silva drives. That one is sent back into the crowd. Kawhi Leonard with block number 2 tonight. And with that, I'll be hitting the bench for the first time tonight, and the Pelicans didn't even break 20 points in the first quarter, but immediately here in the second, 8:45 to go, not even 3 minutes off the clock, and they've already scored 11 as a team. That's how you rebound. Just like game 3, we got an answer for a Clippers run, and now this is when things start to get fun. Handoff for AD, pretty conventional assist there for number 4 on the night, but things are starting to take off here in a big way. Another stop is forced, up by 3, let's extend the lead with a nice job. Executing that pick and roll, Rashawn Holmes did the dirty work for me with that beautiful screen, so I could take the easy, uncontested layup. 36-33, Paul George drives, and a perfect defensive contest on my part. Somehow I was able to force a miss on the 6'9 George, and we're running again. Behind the back move, George helps out, and Josh Hart continues to be ready for the ball. He catches, fires, and that one's good. 38-33, the biggest lead of the night for New Orleans, and we were only getting started. Now up by 7. Lou Will tries to fit a pass in there, and Kately, like a receiver coming across the middle, ticks it away. And now, Ibaka on me. Check out that dish. AD flushes it down. This was a pretty crazy pass for a number of reasons. Of course, it was a pretty one, but as you saw there, I actually lost the handle for a quick second. It looked like Ibaka poked it loose, but in mid-air, I was able to regain possession and get creative with it. Anthony Davis, a beautiful jam. 8, 4, and 7 is my line right now. Now up by 9, Kately off a screen. That one would rotate in. Paul George struggling, 3 of 13. Meanwhile, New Orleans, they're looking like a championship contender. 28-8 run to open up this second quarter of play. And as I check out, the bench would indeed have our back. A 20-point deficit for the Clippers. It's amazing how quickly games like this can change. Basketball's a weird game sometimes, and it looked like we were going to get blown out. But at this second quarter, we flipped the script. Now up by 22. Kawhi on me. Let's see who else is matching up with my teammates. And Reggie Jackson's on Kately, and he'll try to take him. Not before another lob, though. Whoa, Kately setting up Anthony Davis once again. Across, a little handoff. And Kately to AD as he lifts off. 65-44. Marcus Morris draws the and one on Otto Porter. Unfortunately, despite our great play as a team, not even Otto Porter can overcome his struggles. And as we cut to near the end of the third quarter with the fourth right around the corner, the Clippers starting to make a bit of a run, and they actually cut it to 10 as we head into the fourth. So, the Clippers making it a little bit more competitive We all know the importance of playing with a lead. I've talked about that a lot, especially down the stretch in the regular season. Let's see if we can hold off the Clippers' last and final run to make the playoffs. As you see, Holmes not there, open on the backdoor feed, so instead I'll go backdoor to Okafor, who lifts off. But one thing that I did notice that kind of threw me through a twist is the fact that when Okafor shot these free throws, he had an injury designation under his name. So New Orleans dealing with an injury. Okafor playing a little shaken up. A twisted left ankle, I believe he got that in this game. And you guys know how solid he's been. He's 5th on the team in points in this Clippers series at 8 a game. And now George, well short, deflected off of Holmes right into my grasp. That's rebound number 7 as I'm actually nearing a triple-double. I've got the points for one now. Little Euro step so Paul George couldn't send that shot off the backboard. 88-81 as we're under 2 minutes to go. I had a valiant effort to try to get my first triple-double of my career, but obviously I still need an assist and 3 rebounds, not looking likely tonight. But we can't focus on that. We got to focus on getting this dub, and Kaylee with the game sealer right there. Hart and Kaylee both had great games on their own accord, and we were able to close out Los Angeles here tonight. The Pelicans, for the 2nd year in a row, will be playing for the Western Conference title crown against either the Dallas Mavericks or the Portland Trail Blazers, and we still got to see how that series is going to finish. So, your final score tonight, 95-86. Another beautiful effort from everybody out there. This was another great team win. 23-18 for the Brow, continuing to do what the Brow does. I didn't have my greatest day on offense, but I still chipped in 9 and 8 rebounds. Would have been cool to have my first triple-double of my career. I've been so close in both simulating and in the games that I've played, but we're going to have to wait for a different night to get that done. And as we scroll down here, look at this. Look at the bench. Everybody contributing. You got some 7-point outings, 8, 10. I mean, you can't ask for much more than what the bench gave us tonight. And Paul George, who's been electrifying all series, once we switched AD onto him, he definitely did not have the same success. So, as we come back, we see that Dallas is actually taking Game 3. So the Portland Trailblazers with the 2nd best record in the entire NBA. They are on upset watch right now. Dallas, they've been so inconsistent in the regular season, but they're getting hot at the right time, and that's what postseason basketball is all about. So let's head into Game 4. Portland, with their backs against the wall, find themselves up 3 here at the end of the first half. In Dallas, and Lillard with only 3 points. Donovan's had to do a lot of the dirty work today. And Deshaun with a modest stat line, 7 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Doncic with 13. And as we simulate forward, as you can see, Portland started to take control down the stretch, and we're about to jump in to find out that Portland would seal this win by 10 points. So, this Portland and Dallas series will be going to a winner-take-all Game 5 back in the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. A great win tonight for Portland, as Deshaun's been great here in the playoffs, outdoing his season averages, but only 14 and 7 for him tonight. Meanwhile, Donovan with 21 and 17, and as you can see, Lillard had a much better second half than first. 19 points, 12.5 rebounds in the playoffs for Donovan. But I'm actually going to cut the episode here. Yeah, I'm going to have the Portland and Dallas winner-take-all game. That will be in its own separate video. I know you guys like it whenever we sit in on a game here and there from around the league. In every series I do, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Expect that video to come soon. I want to upload a UT Martin video, but whenever we hop back into the Road to NBA 2K21 series, it'll be a Mavericks versus Trailblazers highlight video to see who will be our opponents in the Western Conference Finals as we try to defend our Western Conference championship crown from a season ago. Next time you see me here on the Road to NBA 2K21 series, we're going to see is it will be Donovan's Blazers or will be Deshaun's Mavericks. Stay tuned for that.